Hello, everybody. Jeff Mason, your Simple Biz guy here. Again, thanks for that intro to my grandson. Hey, just want to remind you, this is the last podcast episode of this year. Please, come back and visit us next week as we have Garrett Atkins on, who is the CEO of Vi Media here in St. Louis. So, real exciting story. I know you're going to enjoy it. So, just stick with us on that. So, thank you very much for the book purchases over the Christmas season. We really appreciate it. And we're very excited about what we're doing here, and we're very committed to what we're doing here too, because we want to get the message out. How do you, as small business owners, improve, and how do you get better at delivering customer pleasing goods and services to your customer base? We want you to grow. We want you to be successful. The book, again, is SimpleBiz360, 255 tools, 224 pages, a light read, easy on the mind, easy on the eyes. I think you'll enjoy it. So today we're going to dip into the money chapter. And in the money chapter, we're going to be on tool number 202. And this is constantly beware of margin erosion. Well, what is margin erosion? Margin erosion is really unplanned loss of profitability. And when you think of that unplanned loss of profitability, those events that cause that then create a variance in the margins you thought you were making on whatever it is you sell. I mean, and trust me, I've never seen a profit and loss statement for goods and services that didn't have variances on it and didn't have some number in that section, because it's just unavoidable. We're all going to lose pennies and nickels and dimes here. That the art is to keep that loss as low as possible. And certainly for small business owners, you want to really curtail that. But those unplanned loss of profitability and those events that cause the variances are something that I just want you to have a mindset of each and every day to think about monitoring first and measuring second, to make sure that you're retaining as much profit as you can, because there are so many stories. I've lived through them with companies, and I've watched small business owners be affected, and I don't know what their book's like, but I can tell you I've been around places that we thought we were making $12 profit on something, and when it all got said and done, we were making $8.43, and you go, what? How did that happen? And I got taught by a company called Oxford Industries, a phenomenal company down in Atlanta, Georgia. And I worked, they own Tommy Bahama. I worked for their Slacks division, and they were just phenomenal at keeping those variances low. Now, we had shareholders we had to be responsible to, but those variances were always kept so low, and we were taught how to do things in a proactive sense to eliminate larger erosions and eliminate those events and keep that number really small, so that we could, if we were going out on low margin business, we could deliver as much of that, PBT to the shareholders as possible. So, it's really something that is a mindset. You have to adopt that mindset. An author I read and I love is Harold Janine. Sounds like a phenomenal guy to work for, a tough guy to work for. But if you've never read his book or heard of him, his book is called Managing. And I highly suggest you dip into this, even though he's no longer with us, and he's really from the business annals of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But man, this guy launched plenty of C-level people into the business world that spent time learning the ropes in his company or set of companies. And what he said in the book that really caught me, it really just has stuck with me all this time, is that if you're unhappy with the numbers, don't change the numbers, in essence. I'm paraphrasing what he said. But treat it as like a mirror. And if you look into that mirror and you see bad numbers, you don't just, if you're a company, you don't just take 3 employees at $30,000 a piece and lop them off fire them, and all of a sudden you pick up $90,000. No. Those numbers are wrong because of something you're doing in the business. That mirror is showing that those numbers are your mirror. It's showing you that you're doing something wrong to cause that number. So fix what's causing those numbers to go wrong. Don't just fiddle with the numbers. I think it's Ken Blanchard I heard in a tape series in 1990. I'm not sure, so I hope it is. But I'll never forget listening to a cassette tape driving around, 1990, I think it was. And he just said, treat business like you would a tennis match. If you keep your eye on the ball, the scoreboard takes care of itself. If you keep your eye on the scoreboard, you'll lose you lose track of the ball and you won't play as well and you won't score as well. Same thing. We really just have to have this as a mindset. We talk about it in the book. We say it at the end of every podcast. Hold on to your sand. Your sand is your profit. Your margin erosion is that, handful of sand. You hold it up about eye level, and that fine sand, you're at the beach, right? Remember this analogy? You hold that sand and you watch how many crystals fall out. Well, that's money. Pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters that are eroding from your business, and the whole point is you want to limit that to as little as possible. So that does require a lot of different things. You have to be a doctor of details. You do have to get into the weeds and get into the details. You do have to monitor your business and measure it, and you do have to look at the numbers, and you do have to understand if you think on paper you're making X, are you really making that after it's all said and done? You have to figure this out. And I've watch plenty of small business owners just, man, I mean, it's painful to watch the money just dribble away. They have no idea. I mean, I did a little Tuesday tip video a couple weeks ago, and I got a response back, and it was about invoicing. It was about making sure you send out your invoices. And I got a call from someone who said that they were around a mortgage contractor that had built up $60,000 of billable time, and that this person was required to send in invoices to get reimbursed. And the end of the year, if the end of the year came and went and this person didn't get their money, it was over. And you know what? It came and went, and this person never handed in their invoices and never got paid for $60,000 of billable hours. $60,000. This happens all over the place. People aren't watching their money. You need to watch your money. The book's filled with some information on that, ways to prevent it, more so kind of ways to call it out and say, this is something you have to be conscientious about. We do have some consulting programs. We have what we call surfing. We have what we call snorkeling. We have what we call scuba diving. It's all under $1,000. But if your business is suffering and you want to try to get a handle on things, our 3-month program is called Surfing. It's $275, and we'll just be on top of the water with you and go through some analysis with you. If you want to go snorkeling, it's $495, and we just go about 8 feet underwater into your business. It's a 6-month program. And if you want to do scuba diving, it's under $1,000, and it's a year-long program, and we work with you to try to make sure that we identify opportunities for improvement. And if one of the areas is you want to hold on to more of your sand, we focus on that. We've got tools that can do that. So again, it's right in the book here. Anyway, that's kind of it for this podcast. I do want to, we're going to have some fun with this, right? And I really haven't got Jersey on you in a while, since my Jersey Speakology episode, but it's probably going to come out. I'm really getting more comfortable in this whole rhythm of things, and I want to make this a great experience for you. So let's talk about Lost in the Shuffle. What's the Lost in the Shuffle track? Well, my favorite band is the Allman Brothers Band by far. My second favorite is Traffic. And, if Chris Woods, Jim Capaldi, Stevie Winwood, and Dave Mason, these guys put together some stuff, some good stuff to listen to. But there's a track that really didn't get a lot of popularity, and I want you to just kind of take a peek at it, pull it down, see if you can get into it. You Can All Join In, it's called. And it's really kind of a psych pop country, really jumpy tune, infectious tune. First time I heard it, I was like, wow, this is Traffic? I can't believe it's Traffic. So pull that down. Test that out. I hope you like that one. And again, we just hope you had a great 2019. We hope 2020 is a safe one for you and a great year for you. We hope we can help in 2020. Garrett Atkins, Vi Media, on the 2nd of January. We'll have him in the studio and have some fun there. Keep pleasing your customers. Hold on to your sand. And please keep the shiny side up. Be safe on New Year's. Thank you.